Keep holding on. Even when the night gets long and God's power never left you, a new world is full of love is rising. Just keep holding on, y'all. Yeah, we're walking through the valley, but we ain't got fear. God shifting the battle, breaking through is near, y'all. No weapon that form is gonna cover our soul. We are protected by the King, we already in control. Oh, the fire may burn, but our faith it won't unfold. We've been tested so strong, we refine like gold. God said peace, God said rise. Love is about to flow and open everyone's eyes. Let me tell y'all, storm don't rise forever. Our heart is made to shine. Hold on, don't lose your courage. This is God's perfect time. Ow. Keep holding on, the change is coming, and God's power is strong, and the love is keeping on the run, and no weapon form. I can't break out spirit. This is where we'll rise. Faith is gonna clear it, and just you keep it holding on, y'all. Like the waving through the streets and then hands up high. Just feeling that Holy Ghost beat. People dancing in the name of love. Chains are breaking and the blessing rising from above. United we stand. The children of the light and we are shining. God promised in the darkest night. Lift your voice and just hold on. I'm telling you, let it roar like thunder. We got the love. Love is keep your hand rising. This is our moment. Trusting in the Lord. Yeah. Oh, He's already wrote it. Keep it holding on. Even when the night gets long and God's power never left. A new world is full of love is rising. Just keep holding on, y'all. Yeah.
There was a moment when the world felt heavy. People walked with heads down. Hearts carried weights they could not name. Storm clouds seemed glued to the sky. Yet in the middle of all that darkness, there stood a man who refused to bow to fear. His name was Mr. Happiness. He didn't deny the struggle. He didn't pretend the world was perfect. He simply believed this truth. God's power is greater than anything trying to stop us.
Where others saw chains, he saw freedom coming. Where others saw endings, he saw God beginning again. Where others cried, "It's over," he whispered back, "Hold on."
One night, as the wind roared and doubt tried to steal his joy, Mr. Happiness stepped outside and lifted his eyes to heaven. A soft golden light began to rise behind him.
God's power is bringing change, he said with a voice steady as faith itself. And the earth listened.
Chains began to break in places no hands had touched. Clouds cracked open to reveal a glow so bright, people everywhere lifted their heads in wonder. Troubled hearts felt peace again. Tired souls stood up strong, and love started filling the air the way sunlight fills the morning. Mr. Happiness smiled, because the change wasn't coming someday. It wasn't waiting on permission. It wasn't delayed. It was here, and he knew the world would never be the same again. As the golden light spread across the horizon, Mr. Happiness could see something stirring far beyond the places his eyes could reach. He saw children who once cried themselves to sleep, now waking up with laughter dancing in their voices. He saw families broken apart by anger find forgiveness waiting at their doorstep. He saw strangers become brothers and sisters in the heartbeat of faith. The world wasn't just changing, it was healing. Mr. Happiness walked forward, and with every step, a spark of divine energy flashed beneath his feet. He didn't carry a sword, he didn't wear a crown of jewels. All he carried was love, and that love was stronger than any weapon ever made.
Don't give up, he called to the people who still stood in the shadows. Your breakthrough is closer than your fear.
The wind carried his voice across entire cities. The sound wrapped around weary hearts like a warm embrace. And suddenly, people everywhere began to lift their hands.
In New York, in Lagos, in Paris, in Rio, they stood tall and shouted with him, "Hold on, God's power is bringing change."
And heaven answered. Angels soared above them, wings shining with a promise. What was lost will be found. What was broken will be restored. What was meant to destroy you will become your testimony.
Mr. Happiness looked up and whispered, "Thank you, Lord. This joy is not just mine. It's for the whole world."
The light grew brighter. The love grew stronger. And the change kept coming. Because once God begins a good work, nothing can stand in the way. Not fear, not doubt, not even the storm. The world took a breath. And for the first time in a long time, it felt like hope. The golden light that started behind Mr. Happiness now covered the whole sky. Storms that once raged for years began dissolving like smoke. Tears dried quietly on cheeks that had forgotten what joy felt like. People who had been silent in their pain found their voices again. Mr. Happiness stepped up onto a hill overlooking the city. He raised his hand, and love radiated out like a wave.
Every heart, listen, he said softly. All around the world, people paused. Work stopped. Phones dropped. Warriors laid down their weapons. Even the wind grew still, waiting. He smiled, speaking the truth God placed inside him. You are not forgotten. You are not defeated. You are not alone.
That moment became a miracle. Light burst from the heavens, not as thunder or fire, but as music.
A song that nobody taught and everyone somehow knew. Voices rose together. Hold on, for God is moving, and the change is here.
The sound echoed through mountains, flowed across oceans, and wrapped the earth in a warm embrace of hope.
This is the power of faith. This is the fire of love. This is the promise of God.
And as angels flew in patterns of light above him, he took a deep breath, stepped forward, and the journey toward a new world began. The first miracle, the angel, the enemy. The sun rose over the city with a softness nobody expected. For the first time in years, people woke up hopeful. Mr. Happiness walked into a neighborhood where homes were cracked, windows were boarded, and hearts felt abandoned. Children sat quietly on the sidewalks, their eyes dim like stars covered by clouds.
He knelt down to their level and said, "Love hasn't forgotten you."
As his hand touched the ground, light rippled out like gentle waves. Flowers burst from concrete. Shattered glass turned into sparkles in the air. And every child felt something warm in their chest. Joy. Laughter erupted. Mothers ran out in shock and dropped to their knees, thanking God for what they were seeing. That was the first miracle.
But miracles attract attention, not just from heaven. A cold shadow crept along the rooftops. Eyes filled with darkness watched from above. Doubt had a face now, whispering lies like smoke in the wind. Hope is too small. Love is too weak. This change won't last.
Before fear could take hold, a soft wind brushed Mr. Happiness's shoulder. He turned, and there stood an angel of change.
Her wings shimmered like sunlight on water. Her voice carried truth that cut through every lie. "You are chosen," she said. "Heaven is with you. But know this, the enemy of doubt will fight hard to keep people chained."
Mr. Happiness looked into her eyes. "I am not afraid," he replied. "God is my strength." The angel smiled and placed a radiant symbol in his palm, a glowing heart wrapped in light.
"This is the sign," she whispered. "Wherever you show this love, fear loses its power." The shadow on the rooftops hissed and faded, but it was not gone. The battle had begun, not of weapons, but of belief.
Mr. Happiness held the glowing heart to the sky and declared, "Hold on, God's power is bringing change. We will not let doubt win." People cheered because they believed him, and heaven heard.
The enemy of doubt did not stay in the shadows. As the miracles spread from street to street, doubt slithered through minds like a cold wind. Words of fear disguised as truth whispered, "You're still alone. You're still broken. Nothing has truly changed." Skies above the city began to dim once again.
Mr. Happiness felt the shift. He stood tall, knowing light always shines brightest when darkness tries hardest. "It's time," he said.
The angel of change appeared beside him. Her wings flickered like lightning. "Doubt has gathered an army," she warned. "For every freed heart, it tries to claim 10 more."
Mr. Happiness closed his eyes and prayed, "Lord, use me. Heal them through your love." He lifted the glowing heart in his hand, the symbol of heaven's promise. It ignited into a beam of pure light that rushed across the city like wildfire. And suddenly,
From every corner, from every culture, from every language, people stepped forward, hearts shining with faith. This was love's army. Mothers with prayers stronger than mountains. Children whose smiles could break chains. Elders whose wisdom was sharper than any sword. The forgotten, now found. The lost, now leading.
Doubt screeched in anger as its shadow soldiers retreated from the light. But the enemy of doubt was clever. It rose into a giant storm above the city, a swirling mass of dark questions. What if you fail? You think you're special? Where is God now?
Mr. Happiness planted his feet on the highest rooftop and shouted so loud that heaven echoed, "God is here! Love is stronger! Hold on, because the change is now!" His voice shattered the storm like a hammer of truth against glass. Light poured down. Hearts glowed like lanterns. The city of hearts awakened completely. The battle wasn't over, but victory had begun. And every soul who believed was now a warrior of love.
The city of hearts was glowing with hope, but the enemy of doubt hadn't been defeated. Not yet. It rose once more, bigger, darker, towering above skyscrapers like a living storm. This time it didn't whisper. It roared. They only believe because of the miracles. Take away the light and watch them fall. With a violent pull, doubt dragged the sky into total darkness. The angel's wings dimmed. The glowing heart in Mr. Happiness's hand flickered. People trembled. Even the strong began to worry. For a moment, the world forgot the light.
Mr. Happiness felt the weight of every heart and every tear that ever fell. He dropped to one knee. "Lord," he whispered, "I can't save them alone." Silence. The greatest heroes face their test here, in the quiet, when it seems God has stepped away.
Then, a tiny voice from a child behind him. "Mr. Happiness, don't give up." Another voice joined, and another, and then thousands. "Don't give up. We believe. Hold on."
The glow in his hand reignited. But something was different. The light didn't come from heaven this time. It came from the people. Every heart shining together became the miracle. Mr. Happiness stood, feet steady, eyes bright, soul unshaken. He held the light up high and it transformed into the crown of love, a halo of eternal faith. He placed it upon his head. The ground shook. The darkness screamed. Light burst out like a tidal wave. Love struck the earth like thunder. Doubt shattered into dust and disappeared forever. The sun returned brighter than ever before.
The angel appeared, smiling through tears. You passed the final test, not by power, but by love.
Mr. Happiness looked out over a world reborn. No more chains, no more fear, only hearts awakened by God's promise. The people shouted in one voice, "Love, love, love is in the air." And Mr. Happiness smiled. This is only the beginning. End of movie. One Mr. Happiness. Hold on. A change is coming. Join the movement of love. Help spread this message to the whole world. Subscribe for more messages of God's power and love. A Mr. Happy Online.